We have had a massive overhaul in state educational standards, where we are asking the science teachers to speak to indigenous bodies of knowledge and ways of knowing. We are asking social studies teachers to teach students what is a Native nation and how does it work, and not to think of Native people just as another racial or ethnic group in the great kaleidoscope out there. All of these things are freaking people out. There's even Native stuff in the math standards. But the science teacher's been trained in the scientific method. The social studies teacher usually has had a pretty colonial training about what social studies looks like. And the math teacher has been learning and teaching math. So it has a lot of people feeling out of their depth. And on my website, Indigenous authored books. So I've got lists of those. Some of you may have or have districts who participated in Shakopee's Understand Native Minnesota efforts. They comb through all of the Native threads in the standards and offer guidance. And so that's also free, and that's on the Understand Native Minnesota website, but all of these things are hyperlinked up on mine and easy to find. So it's one-stop shop, click, and then it's all free, so you can always just put it on your own district website if that's easier for you or whatever. So it's not copyrighted content. And they've combed through the standards, so the problem is not just how do I find a needle in a haystack, some indigenous stuff, but which needle in the stack of needles should I pay attention to? And that one combs through, and I'd say richest on the ELA sides of the standards, but they say for each grade level and benchmark learning outcome, here is where we recommend that you start. And so that can be very, very useful. They also comb through the whole works, and they said, we're really trying to get a 5-year-old kid to an 18-year-old kid with these essential understandings. And they have information hyperlinked to all of the tribal websites in the state of Minnesota and other tools and resources. If you feel like I need to play a little catch up because I do not know how a tribal Native nation works, that can help you. But it can also help you as you're thinking about sculpting your own educational delivery to connect to tools and content. We have developed Rosetta Stone for the Ojibwe language. And so this one has, can push to an app in a phone, computer, or a kiosk in a classroom. There's a free 500-page educator guide for year 1. There's a free 500-page educator guide for year 2. There's a free one for year 3. And they are going to be rolling out years 4, 5, and 6. So you can do a lot with that. It's no replacement for having somebody who really knows Native language and culture delivering the goods in your district, but it's a way to bridge the gap while we're building the people to populate all of the positions, and can be very useful. And they're also, like most of the tribes in Minnesota, either have it free for their own tribal citizens or will purchase it for their own tribal citizens. There are a lot of ways to navigate the funding. It's actually pretty modest, like $40. But if you got 100 students, you got a new line item in your budget. So, reaching out to the other folks about feeding that can be helpful. There's sometimes stuff in weird places, like the Minnesota Conservation Volunteer, which I thought was just pictures of pretty birds and animals, actually develops middle school curriculum around science. We did a piece for them on Ojibwe lifeways related to the 6th grade science standards. And there's a free educator guide and lesson plans and stuff for that. And then someone else did another one on George Bonga, who's really interesting, and said, I am the first white man and the first black man west of the Mississippi, which wasn't 100% accurate encapsulation of his journey, but he has a multiracial narrative. He ended up marrying an Ojibwe woman, and his fascinating story and a multiracial experience in the 1800s in Minnesota, and also tagged to, in this case, 6th grade social studies standards. And there's all kinds of stuff in interesting places, also free. Yeah, so free tools, one of the best words in the English language. We started working on why treaties matter. You may have seen the traveling poster card exhibit, but there are also 16 educator guides developed. And if you are in one of the districts that is in Dakota country, it can be stressful trying to find Dakota people to engage with your school and program directly, because there are so many more Ojibwe people in Minnesota than Dakota people, and that's directly connected to the effort to expel the Dakota from Minnesota. So when you've got a couple thousand Dakotas and you've got, 40 counties trying to get Dakota people into the school, sometimes you're just hitting a big wall. And so with Why Treaties Matter, you have Dakota and Ojibwe educators who are licensed teachers who are developing lesson plans, and they're ready for you to pick up and use. What is tribal sovereignty? What does that mean to me? And then there's additional extension content that can be useful. So you don't have to navigate just teachers pay teachers kind of content and play roulette and hope you're getting good stuff, but it's kind of vetted and Indigenous authored. Of course, we only have 16, and we really need like 1,600 lesson plans for you, but it is a start. A couple of my books we have free educator guides for, so they're ready, and they're all tagged in Minnesota Education Standards, ready for classroom implementation. This is a YA thriller as well as a tender coming-of-age story, been picked up by a lot of schools for work with middle and high school lit. And then we got everything you wanted to know about Indians but were afraid to ask, and so there's some good stuff there too. Tons of content.